fantastic. Craig, first question. When did you know that you were going to make a film about the failure of flying?
I have to blame, was this on? I have to blame all of this on Michel Negroponte. Where is he?
Yay!
So it was Michel's idea. Somehow, I mentioned I wanted to make a film that had some sort of kinetic energy. And he said, oh, you know, my wife Joni does this trapeze stuff at this place called Slam. And so I went there to make a short film on Friday morning. I called up out of the blue when I showed up, and I was talking to one of the people who worked there. And then Elizabeth walks in. This is Craig. He wants to make a film. Oh, that's great. This is not how documentaries work. So I made a short film, and around 6 months later, I stopped by and I said to Elizabeth, hey, what are you doing? And so she said, oh, you know, we're preparing for this thing. We're going to go to London, and, you know, it's the Cultural Olympiad for the Olympics, and we're going to do these 7 daredevil dances. So I said, that sounds like a film. So anyway, I didn't have the money, I didn't have the time, I didn't have anything, really. But I went. And almost 4 years later, I had a film.
How do you negotiate that space of trust and, you know, all that you give back to them and, you know, to create this amazing, like, deep layered, you know, art that you do?
Well, the dancers and we're just about to have auditions if anyone out there wants to come over. Just want to mention. But it's a little indescribable, I think, and it happens over time, and we choose people. Like, this is probably one of the hardest clubs to get into. Worse than the Century Club, I might add. Or the Harvard Club, or the Yale Club, or any of those sort of obnoxious clubs. But this is almost a spirit quest idea. You know, maybe even the spirit comes before the capacity of the body. There's just, and we've been, and this is the ultimate company. There have been past episodes of companies that this did not exist. This could have only have happened with this company. And I think you can, really it is a wordless issue. We all agree to go in there with complete agreement. They never do anything. It's always a question, will you want to do this? And they're always, oh, well, let's see. No one ever says, yes, exactly, right? It's much more complex than that.
I want to say one quick thing. The auditions that you see are a 3-day grueling process. And the people who show up, to a certain degree, know very clearly what they're getting into by the 3rd day, if they actually make it that far.
I'd just like to say there's a risk in anything you do. So I trust that this is something that I want to do. That's where my trust lies. So.
You know, even the day for London Olympics, I never had a doubt that anything would go wrong. You know, I had complete confidence that everything was going to work, and that trust is a fairly solid base to have in this work.
You know, just going back to your question about Elizabeth's presence in the room, we realized halfway through the process that it was very challenging for us to set a Streb piece without Elizabeth in the room. And when we came back to London, I think Cassie and I went back to London for the 2nd time. Because we went there in January, we auditioned everyone, and then we came back, I think, March, and then to see how they were doing. And then we came back early in June, and it was really challenging for them to understand why they had to do that. You know, and why do we land on our faces? You know, why do we have to do this over and over? We don't want to do it. And then it was after a while that we realized, you know, Elizabeth's not in the room. These people have no idea why they're doing that. They have no idea what they signed up for. And, you know, so I think that her presence in the room, like she charms all of us in a really unique way. You know, and what Cassie said in the movie very beautifully, you know, we all want to impress her. We all want to be a superhero inside that space in Williamsburg. And so, exactly, it's a dialogue, yeah.
You're obviously both incredibly, you know, large characters. And I'm sure you both had, your own fears about what could happen in the film and how you will negotiate those situations. Bring us into some of those conversations.
That question that the producer asked me was a question that producers ask you, especially in the Olympics when the whole world is watching. We spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to make sure that it's the 10th end of possibility that would ever happen. I do not entertain that question. It was a question that I was asked, and I had to answer it, but I knew it would never happen.
Pretty early on, for whatever reason, Elizabeth trusted me. And also, when I make a film, there's this expression, parachuting, and you can make a film this way. You can just parachute in, shoot what you need, and get out of there. But you miss out on life, first of all, and you also miss out on getting to know really remarkable people. And so for me, I was there a lot. And so were the people who worked with me on the film. And I think just from being there was a certain amount of trust that was developed. Now, in terms of sort of another question you asked about the dancers themselves and the fear they might feel in capturing that, they got to know the two fantastic camera people who were shooting with me.
I don't know if I fully understand it, but I have a very intimate relationship with fear and danger, and what I find is that it constantly changes, and the one thing that has to be consistent if you're going to be in that arena is that you have to be open to the process, like calming yourself down, the mantras that, I'm sure everybody recites before you do anything scary, that you can do it. I like Muhammad Ali, I like to say that I'm the greatest. There's no one better than me, and you just fill yourself with so much utter confidence that, when you're confronted with the fear, like Elizabeth said in the film, you stick to this technique. And so in a way, I built this technique to combat fear, because I realized always there, it'll always be there, whether I'm a Streb dancer or whatever I choose to do after I leave Streb. I'm sure I'm going to constantly be confronted with that, so it's practice.
Perfect. I was just praising how amazing you were at trusting each other, and the fact that you had a camera in very sensitive, vulnerable moments, and you allowed those things to permeate. So that was what I was pointing for. Let's open for some questions. I'm sure you guys have it.
I'm waiting for Paris to invite us. We have to be invited. I don't sort of pitch an idea until a producer or a developer or a construction worker or presenter comes up with an idea architecturally. We were working on something called Cities of the World in Amsterdam and in London, again at King's Cross, with the idea of tower cranes and construction sites. That's all I can say right now. Did everyone hear the question? How much of the performance or the choreography would I intend to be internal / spectacle? And what am I trying to portray to the audience? What experience would I like them to take away from it? It's a purely kinesthetic, physical idea, and I'm positing that those ideas are as profound in terms of language as more analog, literal ideas or musical ideas, which are digital and more understood and perceivable, because they have a nomenclature that attach to musical ideas and literary ideas. And action, you can talk physics, but not in terms of that idea about what content could action possibly hold. And our project is working on having you have an experience rather than wondering, what does this mean? It means the action. It means what you feel when someone falls or hits something or takes a shape in an impossible place in space.
It's so interesting. Most dance companies use mirrors. You have a floor and you have a mirror and you can watch yourself. I've been in Streb for 6 years and I've never seen myself in that way. So to sit in the audience and really take in the magnitude of the work that we are so blessed and honored to do is heart-throbbing. My heart is like beating right now. It is such a magical experience, and in the work you're focused on staying safe and remembering the choreography and what comes next, and your pathways, and you are one piece of this larger picture. So to be able to sit back and look at the large picture is breathtaking. It's emotional. It was very cool.
For me, I still get very choked up. You know, there's so much emotion involved in everything that we've done with these amazing people and Elizabeth. You know, it's been an incredible journey. But in terms of seeing myself, I have no interest yet of being on that side yet. I'm so connected to the passion and the feeling and the flying and the falling that I want to feel it. And I'm still there.
The dancers are the innovators of the vocabulary, of the trajectories in space. I might fiddle with it a little. I might order it so that the rhythm of the whole hunk can make sense. But it is, you know, don't mistake what's up there as mine. It's not. It's theirs, and it's my fault. That's sort of how I like to think of it.
If you want to please help me in thanking them for being here and making a wonderful film.